Okay, from our table there was really two main actions or priorities that were identified. The first one concerned the Calne Heritage Centre. There was a perception that people didn't really understand what it was for. They understood it was a museum, but not really much more than that. And certainly they weren't aware of things like where it gets its funding and really what its purpose is. So I think one of the actions that we need to do is raise its profile, look at funding, and maybe bring the Heritage Centre more into the mainstream of the Calne culture. The second one really was, although there's actually a massive amount of things going on in Calne in terms of arts and culture, there's sort of something on almost every month, I think with the exception of August. But what isn't happening is there's no sort of tie-in with all the various groups, there's no linkages. So I think one of the things that we need to do is to contact all the various groups and see if there's any sort of synergies, any sort of common ground that we can get from them and then make better use of. And that leads me really to one other sort of supplementary thing, is that we really need to have a register of volunteers. More and more organisations are being asked to do things on a volunteer type basis, and it's always difficult to A, find the volunteers, and B, to understand their skill sets. So one of the things we want to do, and it's sort of tied up to the first two items, is really to get a local register of volunteers so we understand their interests, understand their skills, and then able to maximise those skills and interests. Okay, thank you.
Found three priorities. Obesity we thought was a serious issue, mental health linked with well-being, and thirdly positive thinking. The action needed for obesity was really to encourage people to walk or cycle, encourage people to have more cycle paths, and things like free swimming and anything to encourage children and people generally to walk instead of getting their car and drive short distances. Mental health and well-being, we thought there should be better communication about what's going on in the community, using modern Facebook or whatever to inform people. And the other issue about mental health was the lack of resources for professionals in mental health services. The positive thinking, we think we ought to be informing people so that people are more positive in thinking, not the negativeness that a lot of newspapers put out, but really taking on board the positiveness of living in the Calne Community Area. The volunteering that goes on, all the different activities that happen in Calne and the villages as well. So there's more of a community spirit, and this would improve the mental health and well-being of the community.